It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is showtime. Geno Jones, showtime. That's me. Coming to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Hello, Chicago, 5:30. Live in Los Angeles and on the West Coast. Prayers go out to everybody in Southern California. I'm going to talk about that in a second. 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Spread the word for me. The Geno Jones Show, by the way, brought to you by City Vibes Bar and Lounge. Shout out to the owners, Corey and Kenya Williams. It is the ultimate adult night spot. Great food. DJs Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. They have happy hours. The kitchen, the food is fabulous. They have a brunch on Sunday and a whole lot more. So just go, you can follow City Vibes with a V. City Vibes on Facebook, Instagram, even though I got some issues with Mark Zuckerberg. I talked about that a little yesterday. I may do it today, but you can follow City Vibes on TikTok, I believe, Instagram, and Facebook. And shout out to the Crate Group. They got the big Gullah Harambe coming up pretty soon, I believe in February. As a matter of fact, we're going to have the CEO of the Crate Group, one of the top nonprofit organizations in America. Been doing great work in the community for 3 decades. The CEO, my brother by another mother, Kendrick Bannister, brother Al, as many of us know him, affectionately know him and refer to him as. So we'll be talking about that. Also, big sponsors of the Geno Jones Show. Now, let me shout out CM Transportation and my people, Carissa Carter. Got a text message from her. So shout out to because CM Transportation, they were one of my very early sponsors and advertisers here on the Geno Jones Show. So thank you, Carissa, for your support and your belief and faith in me and the show and my media company. So we gonna listen, man. We gonna tear it up in 2020. We're actually gonna build it up. It's gonna be amazing amidst the chaos and confusion and just all of that, because there's already a lot going on. Let me start off the show. I want to just address all those in Southern California, those that have lost homes, according to what I've seen on the news, because I don't plug into the news like I used to. I just watch just enough to know what's going on, and I got to unplug. But the last I heard, the official death count is 2, which is 2 too many. But you have many neighborhoods inside Los Angeles. Pacific Palisades seems to be one of the worst hit neighborhoods, and I'm going to say Alhambra, I believe, which I believe is next to or near Pasadena, which is really north. So if you fly into LAX, which is right near the airport, you will get to see, and you fly into LAX, going north is like the Hollywood Hills and everything. And I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to be off camera just for a second. That's a great thing about live TV. You can do this, but in the meantime, I want to send all of my prayers out to everybody in Los Angeles, just that area. But like I said, Pacific Palisades, which is a neighborhood inside of LA. LA is a huge area. It really is spread out. And if you ever been out there, but this is really kind of, I'd say north of downtown LA, north and west of downtown LA is what's happening. It seems like the worst hit areas are there, but it's wildfire spreading. And you've got temperatures. Oh my God, forget the temperatures, just the winds. So it's like a wind-driven wildfire. They've had gusts up to 100 miles an hour. Hey, I'm back on camera there. That's the cool thing about live TV. You can hear me. It's like, well, Geno, we hear you, but where are you? I just had to. See, when you have a home studio, some things you have to take care of, and it was cool to have a home studio. So I just want to extend, for those who believe in the power of prayer, I just want to send my prayers up to all those in Southern California that are affected, were affected. I pray that you won't be affected, but many have been. Homes, complete neighborhoods literally have been burned to the ground. I've seen video and still pictures before and after this wildfire. There are like 4 or 5 separate wildfires just in that Southern California area, primarily north. I think one of the wildfires is east, kind of northeast of like downtown Los Angeles, or LAX, which is really the main airport, Los Angeles International, LAX, which is like it's south of downtown. Yeah, that's the best way to look at it. South of downtown Los Angeles, I guess the way to look at it. I would say almost southeast. Yes, southeast, because it's really in the opposite direction of like what they call, like when you look at TV or movies and you see that big Hollywood sign, that's really that's northwest of downtown Los Angeles. But especially west of downtown, Pacific Palisades, there's some other neighborhoods. I think some areas of Malibu. So it's just, man, horrible. So I just want to send my prayers out to everybody. Positive vibes, whatever it is, love, light, and may God have favor and mercy on that community, on that city. I love LA. I worked out there for a year. I did a morning radio show like 3 decades ago for a year. And I've gone out there many times for award shows, for the Soul Train Music Awards, and just shout out to my people out there. My brother by another mother, shout out to Andre Russell, the whole crew at KJLH, my old radio station. Shout out to Stevie Wonder, who he's still the owner of KJLH. So I guess he was my boss when I worked did mornings at his radio station. Big shout out to my people, Ken Wilson. Ken is just one of the legendary power brokers in the music industry. That's it. It's hard to even give Ken a title. Ken is the man. Anybody that knows, especially in the music community, entertainment community, specifically, black music, R&B, shout out to Ken Wilson. He is responsible for helping me get many of my big guests when I first started doing my TV show, from Jimmy Jam and Ronald Isley and Ernie Isley and Lettucey. Just really helped me out. He was the plug that plugged me in to the connection. Shout out to Michael Johnson when we had October London on the show. So shout out. I reached out to all my people out there. Also, my man Clifton Mosley, a.k.a. Junebug, who we used to work together. Well, he's from Pittsburgh. He was like a concert promoter and promoted events, parties, and concerts in Pittsburgh, 30 years ago. He's been living in Los Angeles for a while. So just shout out to all of you all and everybody else. Some other people, I think a brother named Dwight Bibbs, who's a good friend of mine, and a lot of folks in the record industry. I know I'm forgetting some names, but I'm lifting all of you all up in prayer, and everybody out there in Los Angeles, and hopefully hopefully these Santa Ana winds, they call them. So the Santa Ana mountains are like northeast of Los Angeles, and when the winds come off the mountains, as opposed to coming from west to east, from east to west, and those winds that come down those mountains, and they come down, just think of a slide. The wind is like, you are the wind, and the mountains are a slide. Well, you come down a slide, the steeper the hill is, the longer the slide is, like the higher the slide is, the further you have to go, the faster you go. Your body, gravity, inertia, you gain momentum. It's the same way with the wind, which is why you've seen these incredible wind gusts to up to 100 miles. So they've had like Category 2 hurricane winds blowing fires, infernos. It is one of the most frightening things you can see on TV. I can't imagine. You don't think about death. There's so many horrible ways to die, but oh my God, burning. And the truth is, majority of people die from smoke inhalation long before they literally burn to death. That's the first thing that happens. And the air quality is really horrible out there. So I just want to shout out. And if you know anybody out in Los Angeles, make sure you reach out to them, FaceTime them, video call them, video conference, whatever you need to do so you can see their face and lift them up in prayer and support each other, all right? The mantra for this show for this year is we're all we got, but we are all we need. We come together like the Avengers. I say like the Black Avengers, but we need to come together as like the human Avengers, because there are two forces in the history of humankind. That's true. There are two forces in the history of humanity that are undefeated: Father Time and Mother Nature. And there's so much evil going on in America, in the world, all the hate and the bigotry and the racism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, bigotry and hatred in all of its forms, not just here in America. Look at what's happening in Gaza, in Ukraine, all over the world, and parts of the continent of Africa. I could go on, and what's going on in Sudan, and I know I'm leaving out some countries. But the universe has a way of just reminding you who's really, really in charge. And like I said, there are only two forces in the history of humanity that's undefeated, with all the technology that humankind has created, from the atomic bombs to artificial intelligence. All of that could not and cannot defeat two forces of nature, you could say. Father Time is undefeated, and Mother Nature is undefeated. And Mother Nature is just reminding everybody, all right, when you all get through showing your ass and thinking that you are in charge, I'm going to remind your ass. I'm going to remind you who's really in charge. So I digress. So I want to talk about something I didn't get a chance to talk about yesterday. I briefly just teased what I was going to talk about. And it just speaks to, I was just talking about humanity, or the evil, the hatred, the bigotry and hatred in all of its forms that's going on all across the world, but specifically here in America, the hatred and the bigotry that allowed a 34-time convicted felon 47, convicted of 34 felonies, found liable in a civil trial of sexual assault. That's on the record. But it's a civil trial, so it wasn't a felony, but found liable. And in a civil trial, if you're found liable, that means you're found guilty. They just don't use the word guilty because it's a legal term. But when you were found liable, and the judge said that he saw enough evidence to the judge now. The judge said that the evidence that he saw said to him that felon 47 would have been guilty if it was a criminal case, paraphrasing, of rape. But it's a civil trial, so he was found liable of sexual assault, and somehow he, in 13 days, 12 days actually, let me be accurate, 12 days, he's going to be back in the White House speaking of it, which, and I believe the forces behind that it's really, not that it's unleashed bigotry, hatred, and racism, misogyny, and sexism, because all that's been around since the beginning of humanity. But what I notice and what I see is that this bigotry and hatred in all of its forms, along with the misogyny and sexism, has been made to feel free to be more bold and open with the bigotry and hate in all of its forms. Which leads me to a woman who actually had the title and had the responsibility and the assignment as a nurse that worked in a hospital, a nurse that worked in a hospital in what they call the NICU unit. NICU is like for neonatal intensive care. That is for premature babies who were born like dramatically underweight. Maybe the moms are forced to have, for whatever reason, they had to bring the baby to term early. Maybe they had to literally go in, perform a C-section to try to save the baby's life. You know, maybe the child was born with all kind of heart conditions and other medical conditions that premature babies can be born with. The most fragile human beings, the most fragile human beings on the planet are babies in the neonatal intensive care. Now, my mom is a retired nurse, so yeah, you could say this is personal. It's personal to me. It's personal for me. Now, I was not in the neonatal intensive care, but my humanity tells me that how could any other human, especially who was blessed to have the authority, the responsibility, to have the knowledge, the training that you had to go to school for, and you had to pay to go to college or go to school to learn how to be a professional nurse, and especially a nurse that works not just in a hospital, but in the neonatal intensive care, the NICU unit, the intensive care unit for babies. And then to take that responsibility and authority that you have and ability to save lives and to help these babies survive and have a chance to thrive and grow up. You abuse that privilege, you abuse that responsibility, and you break the bones of babies. Person's name is Erin Elizabeth Ann Strathman. I believe I'm pronouncing her name. So recently she was charged with malicious wounding and felony child abuse. This is in Virginia. This happened in the hospitals in Virginia. She was a nurse in Virginia. Now, here's a quick little backstory. Here's the really messed up part. So the hospital that this woman worked at and broke the bones of 3, now, I need to put all this in context. I got to put all the cards on the table. This is a white female nurse that allegedly, according to prosecutors, that's charged her with child abuse, malicious wounding, and felony child abuse. According to the prosecutors, this woman was charged with breaking the bones of 3 black babies in the NICU unit, the intensive care unit for babies. Now, what you may or may not have heard, that a couple years back, this same nurse, Miss Erin Elizabeth Ann Strathman, was suspended from this same hospital for a year for, can you guess? Yeah, you probably can. For basically, allegedly, and I'm sure the hospital's got evidence, and they got cameras, they had enough evidence to suspend this person for a year for breaking the bones of 4 black babies. So they suspend her for a year with pay. I need to point that out. Yes, that's a fact. You can, don't take my word for it. You can do your own homework. Yes. Erin Elizabeth Ann Strathman, a nurse at a hospital in Virginia, was suspended from the hospital she worked at for 1 full year, suspended with pay for just the fact that you were suspended with pay. You broke the bones of 4 babies in the intensive care unit for babies, the NICU unit. You are a NICU, a neonatal intensive care nurse with that responsibility and power. that's how you abuse the responsibility, the authority, and the power, and the knowledge that you were given. Now, I'm pretty sure nurses do. I didn't go to medical school, and I didn't even ask my mom, but I know nurses have basically the same oath that doctors take. It's called a Hippocratic oath, which is an oath to do no harm to a patient, period, full stop. But this person who was a nurse at a hospital in Virginia a couple years back was suspended for a year with pay for breaking the bones of 4 black babies. They brought this heifer back to the same hospital. Now, also, I need to, for the record, because the hospital tracked it. So for the year that this nurse Strathman, Erin Elizabeth Ann Strathman, the year that she was suspended, no babies, and specifically no black babies' bones were reported to be broken. So there was no record of any babies, specifically any black babies, bones being broken. During the year that Nurse Strathman was suspended. Because before she was suspended, they found that there were 4 black babies, their bones were broken. Apparently the hospital had evidence. I don't know if it was witnesses, videotape, whatever it was. They found enough evidence to suspend this nurse, and I'm using that term loosely, nurse, but they did it with pay for a whole year, but brought her back. The person who brought her back to that hospital, the chief of staff, the CEO, their ass should be fired, and they should sue that hospital until basically shut it down and move all those patients to another hospital. But you all brought this same nurse back to the same hospital and then put her back. You could have put her back in some other department, but you put her back in the same department. The intensive care unit for babies, that same NICU unit. Now, while she was suspended, no babies had their bones broken. She comes back, 3 black babies, bones broken, and here we are. So I'm sharing that just to say that there's a climate, and it's really a global climate, but there's definitely a climate in America to where bigotry and hatred and racism and, like I said, homophobia, transphobia, misogyny and sexism. I heard a story about somewhere on social media where you got a bunch of, and I'm not even going to call these people. They are males. They allegedly have male genitalia, but they're not men. But they are so-called men who have social media platforms or these conversations or chats to give each other and other men tips on how to get away with rape. You can Google it for yourself. Let me say something. Because this whole MAGA cult and this whole alpha male, what alpha males don't do, alpha males don't rape women. Alpha males don't rape people, men or women. They are not violent, physically, sexually violent. An alpha man, a real man, would want to protect a woman. They would never want to abuse or violently harm a woman, physically or sexually or both. So whoever these coward ass, I'm going to say almost everything I want to say. Because on the south side of Chicago, weak ass, cowardly ass men like that, we still have a term and had a term, They are some bitch ass, excuse my French mother, but that's what they are. They are some bitch ass blank. You can fill in the blank. And that last word starts with an N. And I don't have to say anything else because folks in the culture know exactly the phrase. And any man that would get on social media or anywhere and talk about giving any man a tip on how you can, make it easier to rape a woman and how to get away with it, you are a bitch ass. And you're worse than a coward. But all of this bigotry and hate and violence, it's been energized. It's like it's been supercharged. There's a climate and it's been supercharged. And I'm not blaming Felon 47, but they see, okay, you can be in the White House, you can have the title, you can be in the seat of the most powerful person on the planet and be a convicted felon, but I try to go get a job at the post office or a hospital as a nurse, and I fill out the application, and there's the box that says, are you a convicted felon? And if I check yes, I can't get a job. But this dude got in the White House a second time? Convicted felon, 34 counts? Like fraud, lying, business, just fraud, period. 34 counts. Convicted felon 34 times. By a jury. And found liable of sexual assault in a civil trial. So if you are a sexual assaulter, if you have the proclivities, if you have it in you, the sickness to want to sexually abuse, assault a woman or man or anybody, or to break the bones of black babies in a neonatal intensive care unit, or to call a black woman employee at Southwest Airlines the N-word because she tells you that your bag is 5 pounds overweight. Yes, this energy has always been in America. Like I said, racism was founded on violence, funded by, racism, misogyny, sexism. That's just America's history. Land was stolen from Native Americans. I digress, because I could go on, and I've gone down that rabbit hole, but the point I'm trying to make is that with all of that, yes, the universe has a way of just kind of letting everybody know. It's just my observation. I don't know if you have a similar observation. Let me know. Give me your opinion. Jump in the comment section and let me know. But there's so much going on in the universe, higher power, God, whatever. But the universe is agnostic. The energy you put out into the universe is the energy that not only will you attract it back to you, the energy that you release into the universe is your energy. So it's going to find its way home. The energy that you release into the universe will eventually return to its original source, good or bad energy. And the universe has a way of just kind of reminding humans, it's like, okay, all right. And I thought that after COVID, there was a big wake-up call for humanity. It was like Mother Nature said, okay, you know what? Time out. Humans, I'm putting all 6 billion plus of you all in a timeout with COVID. And maybe you'll get it. You can get it. So you just see, you got wildfires in Southern California like we've never seen before. Now, you've got basically the middle part of America and the southern part, southeastern part of America, from like south central part, from Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, Memphis, Nashville, Birmingham, Atlanta, Columbia, South Carolina, from 5 to 8 inches of snow to a half an inch of ice. I'm going to close the show once again by just reminding everybody there are two forces in the history of humankind that are undefeated. That's like, okay, you think you bad, you think you're in control, you think you're so smart, you got all the answers. You can outsmart Mother Nature and Father Time. It's like, oh, y'all punk ass. Yo. We ain't afraid of you. Okay, fine. Just hold on. As my grandfather said, just keep living. Because the only two forces in the history of humankind, the only two forces in the only two forces in the history of humanity, the only two forces in the history of humanity that are undefeated. Even Michael Jordan wasn't undefeated. Patrick Mahomes, Willie Mays, you name it, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, none of them. Muhammad Ali, the greatest, the GOAT of the GOATs. None of them. Serena Williams, you name it. We're not undefeated. But the two forces in the history of humanity that are still and remain the undisputed, undefeated forces in humanity, Father Time and Mother Nature. I think we should just pause for a second, take heed, and listen to Mother Nature and respect Father Time and Mother Nature. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. And please have favor and mercy. Your will be done, but please have mercy, grace, mercy, favor, grace, and mercy on the people of Southern California with these horrible wildfires. Thank you for watching. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago Central Time. Speaking of Los Angeles, live in Los Angeles and on the West Coast, 3:30 p.m. Subscribe, share, screen grab, like, binge watch all my back episodes. Please leave your comments in the comment section and tell everybody, as my man Nelly would say, tell everybody you know to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. I am just a couple hundred subscribers. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, so please spread the word. Help me grow my media company and the show, because once I pass that threshold over 1,000 new subscribers, I'll begin to get the check. As a kid say, I'll get that YouTube bag. Get a bag out. YouTube will begin to run ads, and then my company will make money, more money. So please, thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for supporting my media company. Continue to spread the word. Continue to share the show on your platform and everybody else's social media platforms. You can share it. You can tag people, post it on their page. You can copy and paste the link in an email, in a text message, or you can copy and paste it in someone's message, wherever you have my blessing. Screen grab or rip some of the video, chop it up. This monologue has been fire. Oh, I shouldn't use that word because it's just been, it's been real. Screen grab, chop up some of the video, make it go viral. Chop it up in 30 seconds, maybe a minute, 2 minutes, 90 seconds, 3 minutes. Do what you do. Subscribe, share, screen grab. Once again, like this and every episode. Binge watch. If you missed any of this episode, watch it, but binge watch all my back episodes. And please leave your comments, whatever they are. Like, love, think I got it, think I'm on track, think I'm clues. Look, I ain't tripping. Say what you got to say. Leave your comments in the comment section. All right, thank you for watching, everybody. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist of the Geno Jones Show. You can check him out on Instagram, Kel Beat Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. But Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Instagram, Facebook, and Threads, basically said that there's not going to be any more. The fact checking is done. Yes, Mark Zuckerberg said that Facebook, and you got to throw Instagram and Threads in there because he owns all of them, will no longer fact check lies. That means that he's going to let people come on Facebook because you already hear people lying, spreading just dangerous lies and disinformation. He said, hey, we're no longer going to fact check. So just make a note of that. It has nothing to do with my brother Markel Bailey, but you can still check him out on Instagram. Kel Beat Cutting Up. All facts, no lies with my man Kel. The Geno Jones Show, the official wardrobe consultant. Stylist, you ask? One Allie Jones. You can check her out and her Lexi Jones collection out at L, like Lexi, X.N, like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi, underscores that little dash. LX.N, CL underscore, and also wardrobe consultant and stylist for the show, Mr. Bruce Gage out of Chicago, Mario Uomo. Check out his Mario Uomo collection. So Uomo, it's not spelled with a W. You think, like what? Like W-O? No. Spelled with a U. It's an Italian surname, Mario, M-A-R-I-O. Uomo is spelled U-O-M-O, Mario Uomo. And check out the Flyball collection, all that on Bruce Gage's Instagram page, Mario Uomo. Thank you, everybody. And big shout out, the Geno Jones Show brought to you always by City Vibes Bar and Lounge here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro, 9730 Dorchester Road, the ultimate adult night spot. Great food, great drinks, DJs doing their thing live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday brunch. The food is amazing. They also got another big announcement. They'll be serving lunch very soon during the week. So that means they'll be open at around, I say somewhere between maybe 11:30, 12, 11, between 11 and 11:30. They'll be opening for lunch very soon. Shout out to Kenya and Corey Williams. They'll be back on the show to talk all about that. And shout out to the Crate Group, the CEO, Kendrick Bannister. The Crate Group, iconic, legendary nonprofit organization here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro, but one of the most incredible nonprofit organizations that's been putting in that work out in the streets, as the kids say, putting in that work in the streets for over 3 decades. They got the big Gullah Harambe event coming up very soon. We'll have the CEO himself, my brother by another mother, Brother Kendrick Bannister, Brother Al, as we call him, those who know him, love him dearly. So you'll be seeing Mr. Bannister, the CEO of the Crate Group, to come back on to talk about this huge event, the Gullah Harambe event coming up very soon. All right, thank you, everybody. Thanks to everybody watching once again. Please, if you believe in the power of prayer or just positivity, send all the love, the light, and the prayers to those living in Southern California, specifically all those that have been affected, are being affected as we speak. Oh God, pray they don't or won't, but those who may become affected from these horrible, just like evil, just demonic looking wildfires out in Southern California. We'll see you live Thursday, 6:30 p.m. right here on the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.